Hey everybody, welcome to Dale on the Trail. This is a day that I've been waiting for a very long time. We're going to be showing you everything that I'm going to be taking, my full gear loadout for the Appalachian Trail through hike. I'm going to start out with all the clothes that I'm going to be wearing, and then we'll go into what's in the pack. First of all, I wanted to tell you about my base weight. So my base weight without the clothes that I'm going to be wearing and without my trekking poles, without any food or water. My base weight comes in right at about 15.8 pounds. Everything packed up, we're at 22.9 pounds. So let's get into it. Okay, we're going to start off with my trail running shoes. These are the Hoka speedgoat 5s, and I've paired them with some Dirty Girl Gaiters to keep all the debris and rocks and stuff. The thing about these, the regular width, I have very narrow feet, and I went with the wide shoe. The toe box for a wide is a little bit bigger with the heel about the same size as a regular width. So that'll give me a little bit of room for when you hike for long distances. Your feet tend to swell mostly across your toe box. Okay. I also have a knee sleeve. I messed up my knee quite a bit a few years back, so this will give me a little bit more stability, a little bit more warmth in the weather, and that'll help me along the trail. I'm going to pair that with some Injinji toe liner socks. These will give me a little bit of protection against blisters. And on top of those, the Darn Tough Appalachian Trail padded, cushioned micro crew socks. I have 2 pairs. I'll be swapping those out, and that's going to be, again, an added benefit to cutting down on any blisters and the durability that Darn Tough makes. Okay, the shirt that I'm going to be wearing is a Patagonia Capilene Cool t-shirt. So that's my loose-fitting t-shirt that I'll be wearing. It's super light, cuts down on wicking moisture, and it cuts down on any odors. Underneath my shorts, I have the Ex Officio underwear. They, again, cutting down odor and any chafing and that type of thing. They're very durable. On top of those, I have the Patagonia Dirt Craft bike shorts. They're full of pockets. They have a 4-way stretch to them. They're super light, super breathable. So that's what I'm going to be using for my shorts. Let's get into what I have on the outside of my pack. First of all, as you can see, I have my trekking poles. These are the Black Diamond Ergo Cork trekking poles. I love these trekking poles. I also have, these are going to be my river crossing shoes as well as some camp shoes. These are the Zero water shoes. Super light, super durable, with a little bit of a tread on the bottom for those river crossings. And the top pocket, I have 2 things. I have the Zpacks zip pad that I'll be using. And there's a little bit of redundancy here because I also have the Gossamer Gear sleep pad up there, but we'll go over that in a minute. I also have the Osprey pack cover. I use these on those torrential downpours and cover my whole pack. There's a little bit of redundancy that I'm going to be going through with keeping all my gear dry. It's worth it to me to have a little bit of extra weight just to give that reassurance that everything is going to stay dry. Okay, on this top pack, this is, as I was saying, the Gossamer Gear Thin Light Foam Pad. This is what I'm going to use underneath my sleep pad when I'm sleeping inside a shelter. I may not sleep inside a shelter as much as I can, but when I do, I'll use this. It weighs next to nothing and gives me a little bit of added protection from any slivers or anything like that, protecting my inflatable pad. Inside the front pocket, I'm going with the Showa 282 gloves. These are super warm, super grippy, and waterproof. Somehow they breathe and they are waterproof at the same time. Inside of this, I have a neck gaiter for those really cold days hiking on the trail. Speaking of cold days, this is my Zpacks beanie. I'll be wearing this at night on the super cold day in the Smoky Mountains. So I'll be wearing that. Then I have my rain gear. This is the REI rain jacket. I like this rain jacket. It has pit zips, as well as the hood is adjustable, and it has a little bit of a brim to the hood to shed water off the front. So that's my rain jacket. I'll be keeping that on the outside of my pack, both to allow it to dry and for ease of accessibility. Along with that, I have the REI Rain Pants. Now these pants have dual purpose for me. They're comfortable enough to hike in. On a really cold day, I can hike in them, give me a little bit of extra insulation from the wind, as well as the rain. So these are the REI Rain Pants. Right. Again, if you know, you know. This is a Zpacks trowel. And on the bottom of this, I have my tent stakes. If you watch my Big 3 video, I go into my tent stakes and I explain to you why I chose these when I did. On this side pocket, which will be on my left-hand side, this is going to be my water filtration system. I have the CNOC 3-liter bag along with the Sawyer Squeeze water filter. I'll be using these in conjunction with, on the other side of my pack, I have a smart water bottle and my Zpacks umbrella. The umbrella is a little bit of a luxury item. It's very light, and I think that just the added comfort might do me well. On the bottom, I have my Zpacks DuplexL zip tent, and I keep that on the outside of my tent just so when I pack up my bag at the end of the day, or at the beginning of the day, I can have everything packed up and sealed, everything tucked away on a wet morning, and then I can just roll up my tent, put it on the outside, and then if it's wet, I can slip it off during my first or second break during the day and let it dry out. Inside the compression sack is my ground cloth, my Tyvek. What's that? That's there. So let's look at the front of the pack. Front of the pack, I have a bandana for wiping my nose or anything like that. If you walk through spider webs, you know. So that's that. I also have a water bottle sleeve. So I'm going to be taking some electrolytes and drink mixes, and I'll be putting that in a smaller bottle along here so I can just down those real quick. On this side, I have the Gosper Gear foam pouch. So that'll have a little pocket on the outside for sunglasses or whatever. And then the Garmin InReach Mini 2. That's going to help me track and a little bit of SOS and give my family some comfort while I'm on the trail. Okay, on my hip belt pockets, I have 2 hip belt pockets. One hip belt pocket will be for my inhaler and my chum's wallet. I'll be using that on the trail. I also have my Nightcore NU25 headlamp and some headphones. Like I said, it's an inhaler. I also have these small pair of scissors. These are very cool. They slide out and then they tuck in, and then there you have a pair of scissors. But they fold in so that you don't have to risk puncturing anything. Very compact, very light, and very useful. Also in here, I'm going to have the protection that I'm going to be taking on the trail. As you all know, I'm a police officer, and I get a question from my fellow police officers all the time about what I'm taking on the trail as far as personal protection. That's a personal question, and I'm not going to answer it. What you take on your trail and what you choose to take or choose not to take, that's that's a personal thing. We talk about hike your own hike, and that's something that that you have to decide on your own what matters to you. You know, we talk about we all pack for our fears, and that's something that some people carry bear spray and they're afraid of bears and that type of thing, and there's nothing wrong with that. And by all means, carry that. I'm choosing not to. All right, let's move on. In the other pouch, I'm reserving for snacks and whatnot. I have some Tylenol and ibuprofen, and then I also have my Purell hand sanitizer in that pouch. Okay, let's see what we have inside our pack. First off, I have my food bag. This is easily the heaviest thing inside my pack. This is the Zpacks food bag. I have it paired with a carabiner and the Apex Giant dog bone. I'll get into that one day, probably on the trail. I'll explain the use of that and the technique that we used for hanging our bear bag. Inside my food bags, I have the Jetboil Stash stove. It comes with a pot and a fuel canister with the lighter, the stove, and a little stabilizing piece. I also have a Totes spoon with the polished bowl for that. It helps in cleaning, in my opinion. It just feels a little bit better when it's polished. I have a little wipe rag. This is my bear line with a rucksack. I picked up these. I have several of them, and this is a zip tie, but it's a reusable zip tie. You press this little button here, and you can reuse it, and it's really good for keeping things in order. I have a few of them that if I ever want to attach things to the outside of my pack, you just cut off the end, and then it's really reusable. So the rest of what's inside my food bag is all Mountain House meals and different things. We'll go over foods once I'm on the trail. Next up, so I use a back liner, a Nyla Fume back liner. That's going to, again, give me another reassurance of making sure everything stays dry inside my pot. I went with the Hilltop Packs dry bags. I have a few of them you're going to see, and they're super light. They weigh next to nothing, and they give you lots of protection. That Dyneema fabric is very light, and it's waterproof. So inside this one, this is my kind of my ditty bag. It has all my first aid kit and toiletries and that type of thing. I have a baby powder, some soap, another lighter. These are gummies for melatonin gummies for sleeping. It's a little trick if you have trouble sleeping, especially we're going to be amped up the first few days on the trail, and that'll help you get a good night's sleep. If it's needed, if it's not needed, that's fine too. In this Ziploc bag, I have some Neosporin and some Band-Aids. I have some Tums if needed, a little toothbrush, some dental floss. I have some Q-tips. I have taken some Leuco tape and wrapped it around this plastic dowel. So that's a smaller amount that what comes in a big roll, and it's super light. And this is what I'm going to use for any blisters or hot spots. The outside of Leuco tape is really slick, so it keeps away any friction, and they're virtually waterproof. Once it's on, it'll stay on, even though moisture might get to it or sweat. Leuco tape will stay on your injury. I also have some A&D ointment for any chafing or that type of thing. Very useful for many different reasons. So that's my duty bag. I also have an extra inhaler for those rough days. Again, another Hilltop Zpacks dry bag. This is my electronics bag. And we'll start out with, this is the Anker 525 20,000 milliamp battery bank. This is, so if I was not vlogging the trip, I would go with probably a 10,000 milliamp, but because I'm using it, I stepped up to the 20,000 milliamp battery bank. And then I'm pairing that with a Anker wall charger that's an Anker 65 watt wall charger. That's going to charge the battery bank. I also have an Anker 30 watt charger that will charge my other devices, my phone or whatever, when I'm in town. I have the Flex Tail air pump that also has a light on it. It's a little bit of a controversial thing where it's very loud in camp, but you know, at the end of the day, I think most people will have something similar to this to inflate their sleeping pad, and it'll only take a minute or so. The rest are chargers, different charging cables. I have some, this is a cable for my watch. I'll be taking the Garmin Fenix 6X Pro. This is the charging cable for that. I have two of these. This is a 1 terabyte flash drive that has a lightning cable for my iPhone. And then it also has a USB-C, or I'm sorry, USB-A connector. So I can download all my videos and upload them to a computer when I'm done. I have two of these 1 terabyte flash drives. They weigh next to nothing and super convenient. Again, other USB-C to USB-C cables. And if you don't know, when you use a USB-C cable to charge your devices, it charges at a much faster rate. And so that's what those are. Different cables and an attachment for the Flex Tail. Next, I have a massage ball. This is going to help me massage all my muscles and joints and stuff on the bottom of my feet. And we're going to use that probably every single night. All right, so next we have, this is my Therm-a-Rest NeoAir XTherm NXT. This is my sleeping pad, and it has a 7.3 R value. Later on, as I hike, when the weather starts turning and it gets warm, I also have a NeoAir super light sleeping pad, and I'll send this home and get the lighter pad. Okay, so this is my hoodie. You've seen it on a couple of other videos. This is the Burgeon Highlander micro fleece hoodie. Super warm and comfortable, packs down to next to nothing. It's that micro fleece material that really gives you that warmth, that added warmth. So that's what this is. For my pillow, I'm going with the Gold Armor ultralight pillow. It straps to my sleeping pad, and it has little rubber nubs on the bottom of it, and it takes like 3 breaths to blow up this whole pillow. Again, in my Big 3 video, I showed you the Sea to Summit Thermalite Reactor silk sleeping bag lining. This is one of the things that I'm going back and forth on, of whether I will bring it or whether I won't bring it. I may bring it for the first week or so and then send it home if it's not needed. But this will give me an extra 15 to 20 degrees of added warmth. So again, this is the Hilltops Pack dry bag. This is the extra large version. This holds my sleeping bag and all my clothes that I want to keep dry at the end of the day. Okay. Inside of this, I'm taking one extra pair of ex officio underwear. I have a pair of merino wool sleep socks. This is what I'm going to be sleeping in. Next, I have the Merino Ridge Aspect Midweight Merino Wool base layers. I have the pants as well as the long sleeve shirt. These are what I'm going to be sleeping in. If it turns really, really cold, I can hike in these as well, but I'm going to try to avoid that if I can. That'll give me something dry to change into at the end of the day. So that's the Ridge Merino base layers. I have a second pair of hiking socks. That'll be the ones that I'll switch out with the ones that I wear every day. So that way I'll have two different pairs of socks. Okay. I have the Enlightened Equipment Revelation 10 degree 950 down sleeping quilt. And this is, I love this sleeping quilt. Again, in my top 3, I go over this in a little bit more than that. And finally, I have the Patagonia down sweater. It's the very warm. This is what I'm going to have for those cold nights on the trail. It's super warm, super durable. That's the Patagonia down sweater. This is one of the things that I can switch out once the weather starts turning. I have the Patagonia Nano puff jacket, and I can switch that out with this heavier one. I would like to thank everybody for watching. Please consider liking and subscribing the video. Your next video will be from the trail. I'll be starting at Amicalola Falls in just a couple of weeks. So I'm super excited. Thank you for watching. And let me know if you have any questions. Bye.